Yo guys, welcome back to Social Slugfest, and I'm bringing you a banger of a breakdown. This one is Slim versus Ryan Taylor. The bad blood is there. The bad blood is there. I don't know what more to say. If you guys have followed the YouTube boxing scene, you know everything that went down. These two guys were supposed to fight before on like a smaller UK card. I think it was the Ed Matthews and Simple Simon card. Some shit went down basically. Ryan Taylor ended up basically assaulting Slim in a hotel lobby, and he's had to since pay a fine to then obviously be allowed to box again, which he has now done. The fight's happening. It takes place this Saturday, and I think I speak for everyone when I say I am very, very excited for this one. The build-up is going to be crazy this week. We've got the press conference obviously coming on Thursday. Weigh-in. Everything in the lead up to this fight is going to be mental, and it's all going to be mind games throughout. Obviously, you've got everything that's went on before. Ryan Taylor, no doubt, is going to be trying to get into Slim's head, and Slim is going to be saying his outlandish stuff that he says pre-fight anyway. And yeah, let's just hope that nothing boils over before fight night this time, and we get a fight on Saturday. I think there's plenty of security, so it should not be an issue. In terms of the fight, I can only see it going one way, but I'm going to give you a breakdown nonetheless of what both fighters need to do to win this fight. I'm going to go with Slim first because I think his routes to victory are slightly more clear-cut and a little bit more obvious, and then I'll go over Ryan as well and give you my final prediction at the end of this video. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Hit like, because I am bringing you these breakdowns of all these YouTuber fights. So let's get into it. Right, for Slim, yeah, I think he's got three things he needs to do in there which will win him this fight, and I think win it very quickly basically. One, he needs to stay relaxed in there, which I don't have any doubt that he will do, simply because he's obviously had a lot more experience. He's had more rounds. I think he's had 10 rounds of boxing, but he's had 4 opponents and he's finished them. To get finishes, you have to have some level of composure, and I think Slim's going to show that in the ring. He's obviously been on that big O2 Arena card, so the crowd shouldn't faze him either. And yeah, I think he just needs to stay patient and pick his shots in there. Secondly, his volume. Once he catches Ryan, because he will catch Ryan. We've seen Ryan get caught by Anthony Taylor numerous times in their fight that just happened, and Slim is going to catch him. When he catches him, he needs to put the volume on him, because Anthony Taylor was having a lot of success against Ryan Taylor by obviously using that volume. Also, Ryan Taylor is having to drop weight, so I'm not sure if that's like a natural weight. He's made a couple of complaints about the weight, so if that's had any effect on the gas tank, the volume will probably overwhelm him in there. So if I was Slim, I would use the volume to basically just kind of suffocate Ryan Taylor in that ring, and then it will lead to the knockout. Even against Temper, we saw once he buzzed Temper, he was throwing like the kitchen sink at Temper, and then he kind of slows off at times to pick his shot, and that's where he caught Temper with that right hand. You can see he kind of assesses the situation after throwing a bit of volume and overwhelming his opponent, and then picks his shot, and that's why he got the knockout against Temper. Third, and I think this is going to be the most important, because Ryan Taylor's going to try and make it a bit of a dogfight in there. I think Slim needs to keep his range. Slim is the longer fighter. We all know that. He needs to use his attributes in there. He needs to keep Ryan at distance. He needs to keep Ryan where he can pick shots off on Ryan. And whether that means being the back foot fighter and circling around the ring, voice break. Whether that means, yeah, circling around the ring on the back foot and picking your shots off, I would do that. At the end of the day, he's got a lot more boxing experience than Ryan Taylor. I think his boxing IQ is better than Ryan Taylor's as well, and I'll go on to why. But for Slim, I think one of the major drawbacks he could have in this fight is the whole emotional aspect. I like to believe that Slim is going to be calm, composed and calculated in there, but he keeps saying things like, if I don't break his face, even if I knock him out, it's an L for me.
I lost. I basically lost. But if I don't break your face and I knock you out, that's a loss. I know I'm going to win, but if I don't break your face, I lost. Honestly, that's the only way I see myself losing.
I just hope that he tries to box in there and doesn't just turn it into a bit of a scrap, because you never know as well, like, if you're just fighting unintelligently in there and throwing haymakers, like, he could get caught with one and then he could be in serious trouble. Ryan Taylor's a bigger guy, and I'll come on to why that is one of his strengths in a second. So, moving on to Ryan Taylor, I don't think many people are giving him a chance in this fight, and I'd say rightfully so. His first fight, he got a disqualification. His second fight that he had abroad against Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor, it was a draw, but it wasn't a draw because he got peppered the whole fight. The gloves were bigger, so he was able to absorb the shots, but he was getting landed on cleanly in there. For Ryan Taylor though, he's a bigger guy. He's fought at 199 and 188. Slim usually fights around 170, so he's going to be the bigger man in there, and I think he needs to assert his power and strength over Slim in the ring. And whether that's timing his shots, waiting for Slim to come in and hitting him with a haymaker, or even throwing some haymakers, especially towards the later end of the round, like, if I was him, I would, mate, like, you're not going to outbox him. You need to use your power in there. Whether he can set it up with a jab, if that's something that he's worked on. Obviously, he's done a bit of sparring with Deji and stuff. I'm not too aware of his training camp, but if he can set up a right hand, I'm pretty sure that he carries power in his shots. So that will be interesting to see. I think the second point that Ryan Taylor could really use in there is making use of the clinch, because there was a lot of times in the Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor fight where he was able to get him into the clinching distance. Sometimes he would get him in a headlock, which is good. He could lean on Slim, he can obviously put his weight on him, make him carry his weight, but he needs to also use the clinch, which he wasn't really. It was more Anthony Taylor that was letting his hands go in the clinch, and I really think that if that's something he can bring into his game, I think he's got a strong clinch, and he can definitely get a few punches in to even just take a little bit of gas out of Slim in those clinches. So yeah, those are the 2 points I would give to Ryan Taylor as a pointer. I'm sure he's got his game plan going in there. Whether he sticks to it, he's a bit hot-headed, I don't know. But one thing he definitely should not do in there, and this is a drawback which I think might cause him to get ended in spectacular fashion, is don't simply walk into range. Like, he done this against Anthony Taylor and he ended up flying out of the ring ropes, and like, if he walks into range on Slim is gonna have a field day in there. He's gonna be so happy, like a guy just simply walking into range with no head movement, no like cutting angles or anything. It's gonna be an easy night for Slim. So that's something he definitely needs to do. He needs to be aware of his head movement, because Slim will box him. He's very happy to box him. So for Ryan Taylor, make it rough, yeah, make it rugged, yes, but also be intelligent and calculated at the same time. Keep that head moving, and like give him looks, give him a few feints as well if you can, just to like kind of deter him as well. Otherwise, Slim's just going to impose his will on Ryan Taylor in there. In terms of my prediction, that's what I kind of see happening. I see Slim imposing his will on Ryan Taylor in there. I think he's going to buzz him early on. Ryan Taylor, you've got the big crowd. You've got the big crowd. You've got a guy that's got knockouts in those 10-ounce gloves, and it's going to be a hard night, man, because Ryan Taylor in his last fight, he took shots, and I don't think he can take those 10-ounce glove shots from Slim in this fight. Obviously, Ryan Taylor, the only thing that kind of worries me is like there's an easy way out. Obviously, if he gets himself disqualified, I don't know if that's something he'll be willing to do, obviously, because it would look terrible. Like, he's just had that ban lifted from like PBN or something, and like AJ's helped him pay the like fees to some charity to get it lifted, and then he just gets disqualified again. It's just not a good look. And I think a lot of people, after like the whole headbutt situation kind of went off him, he lost a lot of fans. So I think he would just get more respect if he goes in there and actually tries to fight. I think he would earn the respect of everyone if he does that, because obviously it takes a big man to get in there with a guy that's coming off of like 4 finishes in a row. So I'm very excited for this fight, if you can't tell. But like the video, I mean, subscribe to the channel and click the notification button, because I'm going to be uploading throughout the next couple of weeks. There's lots and lots of boxing, lots of UFC on. So there's loads of videos coming your way. I appreciate all the support you guys have been showing as well, all the messages, all the comments, everything, man. It's sick to see. And yeah, that's it from me.